Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? I've used a professional to help me perform my best in the cage. Now our show sponsor, BetterHelp, can help you perform better in life. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist in just 48 hours. This is not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional counseling done securely online at your convenience from anywhere in the world. There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 15,000 plus counselor network. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room again. It's more affordable than traditional online counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp.com wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit BetterHelp.com/Chael, and that'll save you 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com. Join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. Oh, breaking headline news. Khamzat Chimaev reportedly has turned down a fight with Luke Rockhold. Now, let's start over because all the information I have is the headline. Khamzat Chimaev has turned down a headlining spot against Luke Rockhold. The reason I bring in the word headlining, I read the article also. There was no quotes from Chimaev. There was no quotes from Rockhold. We don't have a lot more than that headline, but there's a couple of details in the headline. Was it Luke Rockhold? Maybe. Fighting Luke Rockhold also tells us the weight class, 185. Is that what he didn't like? Maybe. The word that stuck out for me was headline, meaning main event, meaning 5 rounds. I have always been of the mind that Chimaev, as much as I love the experiment, as much as I love that anybody float 2 weight classes, do it as quick as possible, I love everything about this gimmick. He's coming back from a very serious case, a very public case of COVID, where he did not know if he would ever fight again, did not know if he could ever even train again. He was having respiratory issues. It struck me at the time, when this guy comes back, he needs to be responsible because it's very hard to do. When you're living a character and that character has caught on, it's very hard, man. You'll protect that. You'll protect that identity with anything you can do. It's very responsible for him to step in and go, guys, everything you're saying is cool. I got to have 3 rounds. I just went through something. I could barely even breathe, and that was without working out. I was sitting perfectly still. I was laying in bed, and I could barely breathe. I got to have 3 rounds. I remember thinking that. I remember reading what he was going through and thinking, when he comes back, he needs to be cautious to not go on a main event. Now, I do not believe that we should grade him down for that, and I'll tell you why. He's never done a main event before. He's never headlined a show before, so it would be a step up. Coming back from an ailment and stepping up. It's one of those things, right? I mean, if he was a main event guy or if he was even the champion and he wasn't going out and he wasn't defending it, look, we got to strip him. It can be very cold. There's a pandemic. If you didn't defend and you're a champion, it's cold then. We're stripping you. He was not a main eventer before. He was scheduled for a main event with Leon, but he never actually went out and did it. There's a relevance to the point that I'm making. There is a relevance. He is not stepping down. He is not defending. He is not returning to a main event. He's never done a main event. He doesn't need to step in. I'm guessing right now, right? All I've got is this headline. But the thing that stuck out for me was headline. The headlining spot, main event for 5 rounds. Now, the other side of the coin, how about a little credit to Luke Rockhold? The article didn't say that Luke turned the fight down, which would lead me to believe that Luke accepted the fight. And I think that's very on brand for Luke Rockhold. I mean, Luke accepts some really hard fights all the time. He goes up to 205 pounds. He takes on Blachowicz, who turns out to be the best 205 pounder in the world. Saying he wants to come back. They offer him Chimaev, which was probably somebody's way of making Luke flinch, and Luke didn't flinch. Said, yeah, give me Chimaev. Give me 5 rounds. I mean, that's a stud move right there. Luke Rockhold deserves some credit. I think he rubs some of you guys the wrong way. I think that he does. He's a competitor. He's a dirty, gritty, grimy competitor that isn't afraid to do some heavy lifting, and he just happens to have a nice smile. I mean, in all fairness, he just happens to be a charming-looking guy. But behind those fancy clothes, it's a dirty, rotten cage fighter, and he deserves to have credit for it. And if he stepped up to Chimaev, some of you might look the other way. Well, Chimaev was stepping up to him or refused to step up to him because Luke was the former champion. If you step up to Chimaev, who's got a hell of a reputation, a beautiful record, a very big name, we're told is only one win away at 170 from being the number one contender at 170. I realize I'm going back in time a little bit. I realize that was November, December, October-ish when he was lined up with Leon. That's two hammers right there. I can't fault Chimaev. You know, and I don't like when somebody says, no, I think if you're going to run your mouth, you got to go back it up. I don't know that I don't think it was responsible. I think what he's done here is responsible. And I tend to think I'm right. Like if one of the matchmakers calls Chimaev and goes, hey, by the way, let's do everything we talked about doing, but we'll just put you in a co-main event spot. I bet you he says yes. That's a guess. That's a prediction. But I would predict for you he would do it. I think it's the 5 rounds because of what he just went through. I can't fault him there. And I do got to give Rockhold some credit. I mean, that's some heavy lifting, as per usual, big risk, low return. You got all of these guys that have a little number next to their name somewhere on a .com that won't go out and fight Chimaev because he also doesn't have a number next to his name somewhere on a .com. Luke Rockhold is a former world champion. Doesn't appear that he complained.